What's going on, everybody? Drew Nelson here again, doing another dip review for you guys, and this time it's more of a dip comparison, actually. So we are going to be comparing today because I know that a lot of people, some people think for some reason that they're the same, but the truth is that they are not. And the comparison is going to be between Cope Straight, which is different, as I've said before, than Copenhagen Straight. So these two are different. They're very, very fucking different. So had my last class this morning. Not even my last class. I don't even know. It's like vacation time at school for me now, so I don't have anything to do but sit in my room and make dip reviews. So let's go ahead and get right into it. First and foremost, Cope Straight, as I mentioned before, is part of the Cope line that also has Whiskey Blend and Smooth Hickory. And usually I haven't been able to find it. I think they actually discontinued the line for whatever reason. I'm not really sure why. But this is a lot easier to find than this. So let's go ahead and look at the comparison between these two dips before we throw. I was thinking about doing a dual dip review, so that's actually probably what I'll do. I'll do Cope Straight here and Copenhagen here, just so I can evaluate firsthand what the difference is. So first and foremost, the can obviously is different, as you can tell. But when we open it up and we view the delicious contents of this, the sweet ambrosia of the gods, this dip. So this is where you're mainly going to see the big difference. So this right here is Copenhagen Straight. And I'll pull out a little bit of it for you, just a pinch. So as you can tell, this is fairly fine, or actually no, pardon me, this is long cut. Definitely longer cut than the Cope line. And it's also, it's better texturally, I think, just because it's long cut. I mean, it sits in your lip wonderfully. So that's why I really like this stuff. Copenhagen Straight is and forever will be my gold standard for dip. That's always been my reigning king. 10 out of 10, you know, like just the perfect dip. By contrast, which also isn't bad, it's not that I don't like Cope Straight, and I put the wrong lid on here, so now I'm all screwed up. But this, if we take a pinch of the Cope Straight, so you guys might be able to tell, this is a lot finer cut than Copenhagen Straight. The reason for that is, I'm not really sure. I don't know if Copenhagen has a reason. I think what they might have been trying to do was they might have been trying to cater to the textural preferences of long cut dippers, because this stuff, Cope Straight, is very similar to Cope Long Cut as far as texture goes. The flavor is actually not that different between the two, but there is a difference. So let's go ahead and throw a dip in so that we can evaluate the two. And I'm going to switch my fucking lids up here because I'm going to think that I'm dipping one when I'm dipping the other, and it's just going to be a fucking shit show. Oh, also wanted to mention this morning, so last class in management, which was, by the way, like the greatest class ever. If you ever come to the University of South Carolina, take Management 250 with Laura Lambden. Absolutely, like, the greatest class ever. Number one, because she was okay with me throwing in massive lippers during class. And number two, because I got this. This was one of our superlatives that we did at the end of the semester. So everybody got a superlative, and mine is most likely to get an internship with Copenhagen, which I wouldn't mind at all. I think that would be fucking awesome. So that's going up on the mini fridge. And I'm so, because at first everybody laughed like, haha, it's such a joke. And I looked around, I was like, that's not a fucking joke. Like, I want an internship with Copenhagen. So Copenhagen, if you're out there, I am looking for an internship this summer if I don't study abroad. So hit me up. So let's go ahead and throw in some of your magical dip, Copenhagen. And we can tell some stories. We can, I don't know, shoot the shit, because that's really what dipping is all about. It's just like, you know, relaxing and throwing in a lipper with your friends and just kind of recounting the day or telling funny stories or something like that. That's always been like the best parts of dipping for me. And oh, I also wanted to talk about my top 4 or 5 things to do while you dip, which is definitely, I mean, most of you guys probably know them already, but some of them kind of vary, you know, by preference and everything. So we'll go over that after I throw in my lip, and let's do a little bit more of Cope Straight. Oh God, I love it so much. So just initially going with Cope Straight because I don't want to muddle the review. That's a source of error. Cope Straight. A lot drier than Copenhagen Straight. The texture, as I said before, is a lot like Long Cut. So it is a little bit harder to pack. It's a little bit harder to pinch. But like Long Cut, like Snuff, like, you know, pretty much any other fine cut dip, it's a bitch to get in your lip, but as soon as you do, it's like the most amazing dip you'll ever have, hands down. So now, let's go ahead and throw in a little bit of Copenhagen Straight, and let's do it in the other. I've like never thrown in a dip with my left hand. I don't know why. It's like fucking weird. So I always feel like a retard when I'm like trying to throw one in initially to my right side, because normally I just throw it into my left side and then move it over. So we'll see how this goes. And let's take a fucking bigger one, because we're not being a pussy today. We're taking some large dips. Okay. Yes, this is going to be a good comparison. So, the first thing I noticed, when you throw in Cope Straight, right, it kind of immediately saps any fucking saliva and anything that you have in your gum. Copenhagen Straight, the reason that I love it is legitimately a dip that makes your mouth water. It is fucking amazing. And as soon as you throw it in, you immediately get hit with this wonderful essence of dip. So that's probably the initial impression, and we will see how the flavor progresses as the dip review goes on. So get ready for some stories, mofos. So I hope you guys have thrown in a dip also. And if you don't dip and you just enjoy watching my stories, then cool. Thank you guys for watching. So let's see. Oh, stories that I wanted to tell. So I have actually been planning on doing a dip review with them, but they've been MIA. I don't know where they are. You guys met Joe in one of my other reviews. He's the RM on the 9th floor, who dips also. And he's done one review with me where I did Skull Ready Cut Wintergreen and he did Kayak Wintergreen, which he gave like a solid 3.5 out of 10. But there are 2 other RMs, guys, James and Zach, who I also got hooked on dipping, which, like, at first, because they had never dipped before, and so as soon as they met me over the summer during RM training, and I was just, like, throwing in lips during the RM training lectures and everything, I think I kind of piqued their interest, and, you know, they wanted to try it. Maybe it's just because they wanted to be like me. I don't really know. Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. But, so I pretty much got both of them hooked. Like, they are now fucking hooked on dip. And at first I thought it was cool. I was like, yes, finally, like, I have someone to dip with. Thank God. But now more and more as I think about it, I'm kind of sitting here thinking, and I feel like I'm one of those people that gets another person, I don't know, hooked on meth or something like that. And it's a horrible feeling because I'm like, oh, well, dip is simultaneously the bane of my existence and the greatest thing ever. And now I've like got them stuck in the fucking abyss of wonderful addiction, which is such an oxymoron, but it's true. It's very true. I hate dip, but I love it at the same time, and I'm sure all of you do too. So, let's see. Went over the management superlative. God, I'm just so, look at like fucking computer paper and shit, but damn. That's something that I would like, well, I wouldn't bring home because my parents would probably be embarrassed to put it on the fridge, but rest assured, I'll put it on my mini fridge. So, top things to do while dipping, at least for me. Number one, studying, which sounds fucking so nerdy. It's unbelievable. I know. Sorry, I study. Oh. I've discovered that it is almost near impossible to study without a dip in. And the reason for that is like the buzz that you get from dipping is just like it's a blood rush pretty much. It increases your circulation. It makes you feel fucking amazing. And so when you're increasing your circulation, it's going to your arms and your legs and your brain. So whenever you're increasing circulation to your brain, you're increasing the amount of oxygen and therefore making it easier to study. So studying with a dip in, I promise you, is fucking amazing. We actually got one of my residents to take a dip of skull. It was like a skull pouch peach or something like that the other night. And the poor Henry was just buzzing all over the world. But I don't know. He actually kind of liked it, so maybe I got him hooked too. I don't really know. Number two, take a chew cruise. This is a must for any dipper. Any dipper who has friends that also dip. Going on chew cruises is just the greatest thing ever. Some of my fondest memories in high school were just going on chew cruises with a few of my friends. One of my good friends, Ryan, who plays baseball at Arizona State. Me and him would just like go around and take chew cruises, or my friend Taylor, who graduated with me and everything. We would just go around and take chew cruises, and I don't know, you talk about life, you talk about girls, you talk about anything. So chew cruises, number two. Number three, chilling with friends, also kind of concurrent with the chew cruise. But everybody, and I've mentioned this before in my Red Seal review, I think, everybody should have a dip crib, a dipping sanctuary. And for me, that's my friend Mick's house, the Marine's house. So we're always down in Mick's house. And sometimes we spill the spitters everywhere. And so every 2 months or so we call Stanley Steamer, and Stanley Steamer comes in and they clean our carpets and shit. But we were really scared one time because we found out that Stanley Steamer had a black employee, and in Mick's basement there's just like racist, not even racist, but just like Confederate paraphernalia everywhere. We've got like Confederate mud jugs, Confederate flag, like just all this shit. So every time Steamer comes, and like we're afraid that the black employee of Stanley Steamer is gonna find the Confederate flag and I don't know, fuck up our carpets or something like that. So we take it down, and then when they clean our carpets and they finish up, we hang it back up. So that's number three. Number four, playing baseball. I haven't played baseball since high school. I still play catch and everything, but just dipping and baseball, there's a reason that they both go together. Dip is also a muscle relaxant. Nicotine is a muscle relaxant. So if you play baseball, you know what I'm talking about. You're sitting in the on-deck circle, and maybe you're facing a pitcher who's just throwing gas, and you're sitting there and you're fucking nervous, and you're like trying to take practice swings and shit, and it's not working because you know that you fucking if you're like me, that you fucking suck at baseball and you can't hit for shit. And that you're probably going to strike out and embarrass yourself in front of the entire school. So then you whip out your can in the on-deck circle, throw in a quick dip before you get up to bat, and magically you're just fucking relaxed, and you can maybe hit a fucking bloop single like me. There was actually one time over the summer I was playing club ball, and we faced... he was the Orioles' #1 overall pick. Kevin Gosman is his name. He went to Grandview, which was one of our biggest baseball rival schools in high school. And this kid just throws fucking gas. He was pumping like, when we faced him, he was throwing like 93, 94 consistently, which is just ridiculous. That's unheard of for a high school pitcher. So I'm in the on-deck circle. I'm scared shitless. I'm sitting there like trying to, I can't even time it because it's just blowing fucking by the kid in front of me. So he strikes out the kid in front of me, and catcher like throws it around and everything. I'm sitting here like, God damn it. So thankfully I had a lipper in, or no, actually the first time I faced him I didn't have a lipper in, and I struck out looking on 3 straight pitches. And then the second time I was like, all right, well, I'll throw in a dip and we'll see how this works out. And lo and behold, I'm fucking relaxed. I was way more relaxed. I was all the way fucking back in the box, sitting there like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And thankfully I got the ball on it and grounded out to the third baseman. So that actually dip made me that much better. And the final thing before we get back to the comparison between these two, to do while dipping. This is probably my all-time favorite because you can do it in tandem with all the other shit that I mentioned before for the most part. Play Call of Duty because dip and duty just goes together. They were just made for one another. Dipping while playing duty is the greatest thing ever. And that's also because you might find that also if you're like me, your fucking KD is suffering horribly, and then you throw in a dip and magically you're just all of a sudden a fucking duty pro. Your quick scoping and your reaction time is so much faster, so play duty while you dip. And since the review is now getting way too fucking long, let's get back to the comparison. The initial impression that I'm getting from Cope, at least on this side, it's still dry. It hasn't like expanded or like juiced out any bit more. It's still dry, but it is similar in flavor to Copenhagen. The only difference being, from what I can taste, it's a little more bitter actually. That's probably my main not even gripe with this because it's closer to Cope Long Cut. But this stuff, Copenhagen, is a lot sweeter than this stuff. So if you're looking for kind of a sweet, I call it like the dessert dip, as I've probably told you before. So this is a really good sweet, but yet still kind of spicy, earthy dip. And this is way more earthy, more bitter, more of like a, if you like Cope Long Cut, but you want the flavor of Copenhagen Straight, this is your fucking go-to right here. If you want something a little bit sweeter and spicier, as I've said, and you don't want as much of like an earthy and bitter flavor, but you just want a very, very fucking enjoyable dip, then this stuff is your go-to. So there you have it, Copenhagen versus Cope Straight. And any questions, let me know, because I am officially done with classes, so I'm probably going to go work out, probably going to go do yoga in the sauna, hopefully. So we'll see how that works out. But thank you guys for watching, and I will be following with more dip reviews soon. And the next review that I'm going to be doing is Cope Snuff, so be sure to check in for that. Thank you guys for watching. Take it easy.